Today I'm turning 60. That's right, it's my 60th birthday today. But before I die, I want to make sure I go and see this. The Shanghai Auto Show, biggest auto show on earth. Hi, I'm Rosco and this is news at Amazing EV. And yeah, look, it might be a shallow bucket list, but right near the top is a visit to the biggest auto show on earth. In full swing just at the moment, the Shanghai Auto Show 2025. 100 manufacturers and suppliers, over 12 halls, an absolutely enormous space. The future of EVs. But till I do, I want to share with you my favourite EVs from this year's show. Because this year, once again, it didn't disappoint.
With friends and family all around.
And don't forget, this channel is only dedicated to EVs. No hybrids, no petrol, nothing else. So come with me while we check out my favourite EVs from the 2025 Shanghai Auto Show. This year's star of the show was the Denza Z, which we scooped a couple of weeks ago when we did a preview of the show with our man in China, Mark from Inside China Auto. He suggested that was one to keep an eye out for, and sure enough, it didn't disappoint. Keep an eye out for his 4K full walk around, 3.5 hours. I've just watched it all, and it's absolutely incredible, and it allowed me to choose my favourite cars from the show. Have a look, the link's down below. But seeing this car in captivity, a genuine Ferrari Lambo EV love child, it was still a big surprise. Innovation highlights, everything BYD have teased. Steer-by-wire technology, tri-motor E3 independent drive, de-sus body control system, and it's just bloody good looking, right? It looks incredible. It looks like an EV sports car should look. It's still a concept for now, but it can't be far away. And look, a bit more about BYD and some of their brands a bit later on. Of course, the Chinese have always been fans of big, ostentatious luxury. And once they relied on the big Europeans, not anymore, and they're certainly learning fast. Enter the Maestro S800, a Huawei collaboration. Yes, and phone companies involved from the HIMA alliance, and one of 5 such alliances now between Huawei and more traditional manufacturers. But this was the official release of the interior images of this ultra-luxurious machine. Closer to 100,000 US dollars this time, certainly on the upper scale, pure luxury, nowhere near a budget EV, but certainly it's not outrageously expensive compared to some of the luxury you get from Europe. And only at concept stage was this SAIC Roewe Pearl. An absolute surprise from SAIC and Roewe, which is, I hope I pronounced that right, but which is known in China for its budget cars. So the joke in the media over there is now you can get a Rolls Royce for 10,000 US dollars. No words can really do justice to this concept. But if the design language is looking a little bit familiar, does it remind you a bit of the new Jaguar concept car? But the designer of this one has hailed from an incredible career with European designers, Volkswagen, Skoda, Audi, and then more recently with Rolls-Royce as well. Let's not kid ourselves, these Chinese companies are now hiring the best designers from European brands with experience from all over the world. They've got teams in Europe, they've got teams in the UK, they've got teams in the States, and they've got design teams in China as well. And now to some totally off-the-dial off-roaders. This is just incredible. Concept maybe now at the moment. Maybe they're in production, who knows for the Chinese. From Hongqi, the official Chinese brand known for its large, luxurious sedans, most notably supplying official state cars to every Chinese leader in the last 20, 30 years. Just take a look at this wild creation. Featuring a quad-motor electric powertrain with 3 locking differentials, it looks almost battle-ready. And they're having a competition for its name. It's unnamed yet. If you've got any ideas, put them in the comments below. Not radical enough? What about the Dongfeng Warrior 817? Dongfeng is a company you may not have heard of either, but with a background providing military hardware, perhaps the Warrior again is no surprise. Again, it's a Huawei technology partnership, Huawei supplying the brains. The 817 possesses the intelligence and wild DNA. All marketing speak for just an incredibly wild and chaotic experiment. And then something perhaps more real for the Australian market, the BYD Fang Cheng Bao Thai 3, which Fang Cheng Bao, another BYD brand. And look, this is more likely to come to Australia perhaps under the Fang Cheng Bao name or the BYD name, but this one we might see in Australia. This one's got all the latest kit from BYD, the God's Eye C smart driving system, D-Pilot 100, supports driver assistance. The great part about this one is it's only $18,000 in China at the moment. If it gets to Australia, it's got to be competitively priced. And what highlights do we see from some of the Chinese brands that we already know and love here in Australia? MG, which incidentally is another SAIC brand, which has been doing really well here in Australia. Not so well in its home country. The showstar for MG was certainly the Cyber X, a concept SUV, and a real glimpse of a new design plan for 8 new models that MG are promising. The Cyberster, we know, new colours introduced and new interior, plus some talk of a hardtop version as well. The MG brand is doing a lot better in international markets, the UK and Australia, so it has got a bit of catching up to do in its home market. Xpeng is certainly on a roll, and they were already introduced here to Australia 6 months ago, and yet we've already seen upgrades to the G6, the G7 and the X9, plus they showed a new P7 Plus variant which could be charged from 10% to 80% in 12 minutes. The fast charging race has only just started, and it's going to get quicker and quicker. Both suppliers of batteries and car manufacturers are doing everything they can to speed up charging rates. Chery's been doing pretty well here in Australia as well. Some petrol cars, a hybrid, and now more recently an EV. But they've got over 53 models from 5 brands that they showcased at the Shanghai Auto Show. 53 models from 5 different brands, including the name Chery. 16 of these were brand new models across brands such as Exceed, Jet Tour, iCAR, Luxeed, as well as under the Chery name itself. Too many to go into now, but keep an eye out. We're going to see a lot more from Chery, including one of our favourites, this new concept car, the QQ from Chery. Like it or love it, but yeah, we've got a soft spot for this one. And of course, the iCAR brand under the Chery banner with their V23, just a myriad of possibilities here, thousands of combinations to customise to make this whatever you want it to be. It's a popular, fun car. Again, look forward to seeing that here in Australia, but no news yet, despite some rumours of confirmation. What about some other brands that perhaps you might not have heard of yet? Because there's plenty more coming. Nio's perhaps a name that a lot of people already know, but not here yet in Australia. Perhaps maybe the next one off the rank. Well, there's a lot of fans here in Australia certainly hoping for that. The cars like the Firefly, a new sub-brand, a new subcompact, beautiful little city car, and really attracted a lot of attention. Nio, of course, better known for their battery swapping tech overseas, in Europe already, and right around China. You just drive in, leave your car for 5 minutes, swaps the battery out, puts another one in. Absolutely incredible when you think about it. But that's been an incredibly costly venture for them. And of course, one of the major challenges these brands do face is China is a left-hand drive market. Australia's obviously a right-hand drive market, so most of Europe being left-hand drive as well, Britain being the exception, until they get some scale outside their own country. All these companies, including anyone proposing to come to Australia like Nio, really have to lock in some right-hand drive markets before they can commit to the smaller volumes they can expect here in Australia. Well, let's not forget one of the biggest selling EVs in China. The Baojun has just been updated. It's small, quality and low budget. Very cute. A K-car size and just cute, really affordable, small, fun, economical size EV.
Because this is like forbidden fruit for people from outside of China.
Yes. So these aren't available outside China at all?
No.
Because it's such a simple little thing. Look at that. It's got everything you need.
Just perfect for around town, back streets. And of course, incredibly affordable as well. It's been one of the biggest selling EVs in China for the last 5 or 6 years now. And that's just been updated. And then really promising at the show was the European Fightback. BMW have been teasing the Neue Klasse now for almost a year, over a year now. They had more examples of it there now, but they had an entire exhibition devoted to the new Vision driving experience. Again, not only are they reinventing the outside of the car, they're reinventing the cockpit and the display console and the driving experience as well. They're really putting it out there, BMW. No word again on when these are going to be released. And Mercedes shocked us a day before the show, and we teased it again in our preview with the new Vision V. I was expecting it to be something like a limousine or an S-Class EV or something like that, but it was a van. It was a limousine van. Incredible concept car at this stage. They say it's production ready, but it looks more like a concept to me, but some incredible design elements. And Audi, capital A, capital U, capital D, capital I. It was on the Audi stand and the SAIC stand because it's a joint venture with SAIC. Mark and I previewed it in our Shanghai preview a couple of weeks ago, and there it was, a magnificent looking car, designed in China specifically for the Chinese market, under a new brand that Audi are pitching just to the Chinese market. Whether we'll see anything like that here in Australia, who knows? But they're catering more and more just specifically to cars for the Chinese market. Volkswagen are doing exactly the same thing. Take a look at not one, but 3 new concept cars in the Shanghai Auto Show across 3 different joint venture partners. And don't forget that VW have always built cars with joint venture partnerships in China. That's not a new thing. That's how they've sold their petrol cars and made a lot of money over a lot of years building the VW brand. But that's all come off the boil in the last few years, and they've lost their way, not just globally, but in the Chinese market. They needed something and they needed it fast. Presented at the Shanghai Auto Show, 3 new concepts, one from FAW, one with SAIC, and one with new partner Xpeng, a startup itself, to bring VW back to life in China. All these models represented beautiful cars, fantastic looking design, all distinctively Volkswagen, no doubt about that, but all incredibly futuristic. All concepts at this stage.
By 2027, we will bring around 20 fully electric and electrified models equipped with a state-of-the-art tech.
What's clear from the VW strategy is there now is a need to tailor cars for the Chinese market specifically. We've seen releases and concept cars for the European market. VW know that they need to joint venture in both manufacturing and design now for the Chinese markets. The Passats and the Tiguan's just aren't going to cut it in China anymore. What can the Japanese do now to return serve? Well, once again, the name of the game is collaboration and cooperation with Chinese joint ventures. So now, incredibly, you get the Toyota BZ5, a collaboration with FAW that looks like a fantastic car. If you've seen the latest Prius from the US, it's heavily influenced or styled similar to that car. Just imagine for a moment what would happen if Toyota actually thought that EVs were a great idea in Australia. Be a very different landscape. Mazda have had a couple of goes with EVs, the MX. Not so successful so far, but now they're collaborating with Changan, which we've got here in Australia under different guises, and they produce the EZ60. They've been working with Changan for many years to make Mazda cars for the Chinese market. Very successfully. Mazda was a very popular brand in China as well. But again, this one looks like a real Mazda, a real SUV Mazda. Again, this should bring Mazda back again. It looks like a Mazda, again, for the China market only, unfortunately, at this stage. Honda gave us the GAC P7. They're partnering with GAC, Guangzhou Automotive Group. Again, they haven't quite got their EV mojo back yet. No mention of the O series and the Zero series that they showcased at the CES only 2 or 3 months ago. They were nowhere to be seen. And of course, if you go back to that beautiful car they produced 5 years ago and introduced into the British market, we thought they were on track for EV utopia. That was going to be it. Nothing since. They seem to have lost their way. And the P7 doesn't seem to be quite what we're looking for from Honda just yet. What was incredible and attracted a lot of attention, surprisingly, for a US brand was the Buick Electra. The Electra is an old Buick name from the 50s, and they've dragged it back, and it sounds more apt for an EV car than any other car. This incredible 7 Series size car is just an extraordinary design concept. Again, no word that this is being produced, but beautiful car. It could be the design of the show for me. From a design perspective, just loved everything about this, and they pulled this out of the bag early on. Not much beat this, and there's a lot of designers and a lot of European effort and a lot of design work going to all these cars, hundreds of them. This could have been the car of the show for me, but What do you think? What was your favorite car? There's plenty of YouTube videos out there, plenty of content. There's hours and hours of all sorts of different cars from. I've chosen my favorites. Why don't you tell me in the comments below? While you're down there, if you could subscribe as well, you know we'll grow faster and we grow faster together. It's held every 2 years in Shanghai, alternating with Beijing. It's the biggest auto show on earth, and it's been great to share my favorites from the show on my 60th birthday with you. I can't wait to get there. I'm booking my tickets for 2 years' time. I'm Rosco, and we'll see you next time.